All right, this is exercise 15-27. Again, it's variance analysis with multiple products, but there is a little bit more going on here than was in 1525, which I just did. You'll notice here that the selling price, we'll look at this co-store, selling price is 12, and the variable carton cost, this is the budgeted, is 720. And so that's a contribution margin of 480 on that one, right? And then here we have a selling price. This is the actual, was 12.50, so an increase of 50 cents on the selling price, but an increase of 80 cents on the cost. And so that works out to a 450 contribution margin here. Now, as it turns out, this is a distractor because they're asking us for the sales volume variance, which is the overall between the actual and the static budget, and then the sales mix variance, which is the actual versus that middle group, which is a combination of the actual volume and the budgeted amount. So that's how you get your sales mix variance. And then the total sales quantity variance. The quantity variance is that sales mix versus the budget, the budget. So so we're going to work this one out, and I'll point out again when this is where it's kind of a distractor here. Okay, so once again, just like we did before, we need to get the percentages. So the budget is 130,000. This is for the co-store. Divided by, this is a total of 250,000. And so 130 divided by 250 is 52% on that one. Then we've got 120 divided by 250, and that's going to equal 48%. Okay, then on the actual, we've got a total of 240 cartons sold. So we've got 132 divided by 240,000. And that's going to equal 55% versus 108 divided by 240,000. And that's going to be 45%. So that's the first thing that we have to do. All right. So, in order to get the flexible budget units, we're going to have the 240, the actual here, times the budgeted amount of 55%, or I'm sorry, the actual amount of 55%. But here we're going to use that contribution margin of $4.80, the budgeted amount. And when we multiply that all out, we get 633,600. Then we come to the middle number, and we're going to use the 240 again. That's the actual sales times the budgeted sales mix, which is 0.52, and again the 480 contribution margin, the budgeted contribution margin. When we multiply that out, we get 599,040 on that. So the difference between those two on that one will be 34,560, and that one is going to be favorable. And that makes sense because we sold more here, right? Everything else, every other number is the same on that. Then we come over here and get to the static budget. And so the static budget is going to be the amount budgeted, 250 times the 52% times the 480. And when we multiply that number all out, we get 624,000. And so the difference between these two is going to be 24,960, and that will be unfavorable there. And so the total 34,560 be 9,600 favorable overall on that. Okay, so then we move down to the LIMBA, and the LIMBA on that one, just a little. The LIMBA, again, we're sawing the 240,000. This time it'll be times 45% times the contribution margin of 675. And when we multiply that all out, we get 729. And then for the middle, it'll be the 2,400 times 48% this time, times the 675. And when we multiply that out, we get 777,600. And so this number is 48,600, and that will be unfavorable. Then we come over to the static budget. That was 250,000 times the 48% times the 675. And when we multiply that one all out, we get 810. So now 810 we get 32,400, and again that's unfavorable because these are the same direction. We just add them together. And we get 81,000, and that is unfavorable, like so. Okay, then to get the totals, we just add these two together. 63,600 plus 729. Add those together, we get 1,362,600. add these two together, the 59 and the 777, and we get 1,376,640. And if we add these two together, the 810, the 6, we get 1,434,000. All right. So then we go between here. This is the sales mix variance. It's 14,040 unfavorable. So it's this minus this is how that works out. Is 14,040 unfavorable. Here to here, these are both unfavorable, so it just gets added together. So 57,360 unfavorable on that, and then we do these together, and we get 71,400 unfavorable. Now, again, the trick is to use the budgeted contribution margin. If you use the actual contribution margin, then you would be mixing the sales mix variance with the it would be the sales price variance and a cost variance. So you would actually be, we analyze those separately. The revenue numbers are a separate analysis from the sales mix and the sales volume and the sales quantity variances. So the trick on this, or I guess the catch on this, if you will, is to make sure that you use the budgeted contribution margin to get the sales mix, the sales quantity, and the sales volume variances on that. All right.